All right. Well, first I should start off with I did actually record this earlier, but um, so at first I clicked on it and it wasn't working. My audio wasn't working, so I was super confused because it just looked like me going around and doing this with my mouse and whatnot. But I tried to fix the audio, and now it doesn't open at all. Uh, so I can't really put this on YouTube. That's okay though. I'll still show you my work, and I'll try to act like I'm doing it for the first time, even though I'm definitely not. I spent like a good while doing this. Um, all right, come on. There we go. All right. We'll go to this. Or actually, no. Let's go to the where I actually did it. That's just where I save it. Here we go. All right. As you can tell, I was doing the Pigline one last. I guess we'll start up. I'm gonna comment this stuff out first off. Oops. Alright, I know there's a shortcut to commenting stuff out. I just don't remember right now. I don't feel like Googling it. Alrighty, so the first one, given a right to enter, just turn it into a string phone number. This one wasn't too bad for me. Oh man, there's gotta be a quick way to do this. I should have done this before the video. You know, let me pause it and comment this stuff. Okay, so yeah, I uncommented it. But pretty much for this first one, function phone number, I'm gonna look at this later and figure out a better way to do it, because the way I did it was definitely not the most efficient way. I wrote a lot of code. But I mean, you know, really with JavaScript, you can obviously just add stuff up, like, you know, create a string by adding different elements. So what I did was very simple. So I took the array. Well, actually, I just read this. Turn the array into a string. And make that a new variable, right? Add the parentheses before the index 0 and 3. Add the dash after index 7. I think it was 7. I wasn't sure at the time. Push to the solution variable. And then I return the solution. So pretty much, as you can see, it takes the array, which was the example I use on here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. First, it turns it into, well, it doesn't actually really turn it into a string. I kind of just skipped that. Solution equals, you can see what I did. I don't think I need to explain this anymore. It did take me much longer than I'm obviously telling you. All right, I'm gonna uncomment the next thing. I'll pause the video while I do that. Oh yeah, it's actually control KU or something like that. All right, so this next one, the function, the odd number one, this one was really tough for me. It took me a long time, way longer than I like to admit. Definitely a couple hours. Although, you know, sometimes when I solve these problems, after an hour of looking at it, I'll stop and just sit down and move on and then come back to it. But it took me a very long time. This was actually harder than all the other ones, I think. All right, so pretty much what I did was I did a loop inside of a loop. And I checked to see if it would match against itself. I'll just read for you my scaffolding. For each element, loop to the array and see if the index equals the element. Originally, I used the for each function instead of using another loop. I switched that to just using another loop. I don't remember what was happening with the for each, but I was getting weird stuff. I'm sure I was just using it wrong. But that should be for loop. There we go. For loop to see how many times and the index equaled itself. And of course, there's two different indexes now that we're talking about. The index of the array, and then of course, when you're in this inner loop, I use j. And I think you understand what I'm saying, but I use j right here, and I use that because originally I tried to use I for both of them, and that just kept not working because obviously I equals I, and I already used I. But then I used a different variable for this, and I could compare the whatever part of the loop it is on the index with the whole rest of the array by using both of these. So then if the index equaled itself and then the remainder of itself divided by 2 did not equal 0, that means it was odd, so then I would return it. All right. I did this 1 hour ago, so I'm trying to remember. Okay, yeah. So pretty much if array I equals, hard equals array j, then I'm going to increment my count variable, which starts at 0 right here. And then outside of that second loop inside the loop, if count divided by 2, modulo 2 did not equal 0, then I'm going to return array I. I kept returning array j earlier. And that tells me which one of them has occurred an odd number of times, because obviously it won't be divisible by 2 if it was even. All right, I'll comment the next thing. And like I know I'm trying to explain this fast, but it took a long time. It was all right. This one was straightforward, and this is the where like if given n, take the sum of the digits of n. If that value has more than one digit, continue reducing it in its way until its single-digit number is produced. The input will be a non-negative number. So 16 is actually equals 1 plus 6 equals 7, 9 42, 9 plus 4 plus 2 equals 15. Oh, what? I think I did this one wrong. Now that I'm reading more of this. All right. Well, I kind of just read this example and went, okay, so when it takes 16, I'm going to add it up. So that's what I did. I think that's just part of it though. So I will finish this one later today and tomorrow morning, because I think I did it wrong. All right. Well, I guess I'll explain what I did. Let me pause it and look over this real quick. Okay. Yeah. So I see what I did exactly. If it's not a single digit, then I need to keep reducing it. So pretty much keep running this function. So probably what I would do is, I wrote the function sumOf, so it sums up all of the numbers. I'll probably just run it again. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's the first thought that comes to my mind is put one function outside of this function, and just have this function run until the string is one character. All right, so until the string length equals 1, I'd probably just keep running this function over and over again. But how this function works, which isn't complete because I did the problem wrong, my fault, and I just now realized that. Turn, and I explained in the other video like I knew what I was talking about. Either way. So first I turn the integer to a string, set it to a variable string, as you can see, num.toString. Turn the string into an array. I split it at just every character. Loop through the array, and then I'm going to set it to sum and then add the index of that array. And then I'm going to turn sum into an int using parse int, or actually I changed the array I into an int and added it to sum, which works the same. For some reason parse int sum wasn't working. And then I just returned sum. And that added up any number I put in there. So for example, if I did 155, that should come out to 11, and it does. So it does work. But the problem is, I just realized I actually would have to, whoops. And then I would just have it run as 11. And then it would come out as 2. So next time, hopefully I'll read the directions more carefully. Either way, I'm going to uncomment the next one. All right, and this one is the bonus one that's supposed to be hard, and it was hard. Oh, that's what's wrong. There we go. All right, and that's, so I didn't actually finish it. I'm going to keep looking at it though. I thought I'd go ahead and send you the rest of this video as early as possible though. All right, so we're converting things to Pig Latin. I know Pig Latin. I remember messing with that when I was a kid. First thing I did was I split the string at the spaces and made it into an array. Arrays are just, it's easy to deal with, I think. So that was my instinct. Set a temporary variable, up for the first letter of the string, and a temporary variable up for the solution array. Of course, the solution array isn't what I'm going to return. I'm going to turn it back into a string after it's an array again. I'm just trying to reorganize it as an array. Loop through the array. Use an if statement to determine if the index of that array is punctuation, and this is the part that I'm messing up on. I don't know, for some reason it's not recognizing there's a exclamation point there, but whatever, I'll keep moving on. If it is not punctuation, use and then I'm going to set the temporary variable too. And that actually it's not supposed to be shift. It's actually supposed to be slice. You can't use shift on a string. There we go. I didn't fix this the other video. I just didn't save it. All right. Oh yeah. Once again, I made the mistake of trying to use array methods on strings, and I actually fixed it last video, and then I didn't save it or anything. Regardless, set the temp variable to the index of that array, and then I'm going to push it into that array. And that's pretty much what I did. As you can see right here, I have LOA, ORLDWay, and then that's the problem I'm having right there. I'd like to get rid of the comma too. But if you look at the code, I had a bunch of empty variables. First I split it at spaces because everything was separated by spaces. I looped through it. See if the index equaled exclamation point period or question mark, and I could put all the punctuation in there. I just didn't because those are the big ones. Then oh sorry, if it equals, yeah, then I'm going to slice it, else I'm just going to push it. Actually, let me try something real quick. Okay, I thought I did it backwards, but I didn't. I'm just nuts. All right, that's pretty much it. Sorry for the hesitant explanation. Got pretty busy. And I know it's very frantic. I just was trying to fix the video for so long. All right, thank you. Appreciate you listening, and hopefully you understood what I was saying. It sounded much more frantic. I wish this was more fresh in my mind.